Blessed be. Today is going to be a Living with Herbs video. So today I'm going to discuss something that I consider to be a super herb because it has so many different properties, so many different uses, and it's just really beneficial to the body overall. And it's turmeric, also known as curcumin. So you're going to hear me use those two words interchangeably in this video, mainly because curcumin is a component of turmeric that helps create the orange-yellow crystalline compound in it. Now, I know this is a Living with Herbs video, and technically turmeric isn't an herb, it's a root. So, but I just use the title Living with Herbs as very broadly, because you'll see me here and there discuss mainly herbs, but also bring in other things that are beneficial to the body, but are just from Mother Nature in general. So that's just the main theme of the videos that I'm doing. So turmeric or curcumin, you can find it in two forms. These are the two most common forms, I should say, you can find it in. Obviously, you can purchase it, the turmeric root, but often you can find it like this, ground turmeric in your grocery store. That's used for cooking purposes. Or you also have the option of purchasing it in capsule form, which is what I have here. So you're going to see me look down. That's because I've written some notes for this video just to make sure that I give you guys as much information as possible. Now, me personally, I've been using turmeric in its capsule form, and sometimes as this form to make teas, but there are lots of different ways you can utilize it, and so we're going to get into some of that. So this is probably going to be a little bit of a lengthy video, so if you want, go grab your favorite cup of tea. I have one here, and sit down and enjoy the video. Okay, so I'm just going to take a little sip of my tea. And get started. All right. So as I mentioned, turmeric is actually a root, and it's in the ginger root family. And just like ginger, it just has a host of health benefits that it provides when taken. You can consume it orally, or you can take it topically, apply it topically. It is also a component that is used in curry powder. So its properties consist of it being an anti-inflammatory and antioxidant. It has studies have found that it has anti-cancer properties. So the treatments that it's also used for to treat certain diseases such as osteoarthritis, rheumatoid arthritis, inflammation, antioxidants. It's used as an antioxidant. Also used to treat brain disease and heart disease. And it's also used to treat feminine problems. And when I say feminine problems, I'm referring to problems that females tend to have down below. So, studies have shown that, first we'll go into its antioxidant qualities, and the studies have shown that because of that antioxidant quality that it has, it helps protect the body against free radicals. And we've known that free radicals have been one of the main contributing factors to cancer. So that property alone helps in the fight against cancer. It also boosts the body's activity of creating antioxidants and enzymes as well. So in terms of it protecting the brain, it helps promote a BDNF, which is brain-derived neurotrophic factors. And this is a growth hormone in the brain that functions in the brain. And it drives the production of neurons capable of forming new connections in the brain. So curcumin increases brain levels of this hormone, the BDNF. So because of this, it has been found to be effective in delaying many of neural degenerative diseases. So, and as studies have found that it can help also reverse or put into regression many of these brain diseases as well. So these are diseases like dementia and Alzheimer's. So if you want to take preventative measures now, if you know perhaps that you have a history of dementia or Alzheimer's in the family, which I know my family does have a history of dementia, one thing that you can do is start taking curcumin or supplements or turmeric in your food to help as perhaps a preventative measure. Now, I do want to say I am not a neurologist. I do want to pursue that goal in the future, but I am not a neurologist. I am not a doctor. The information that I am providing you is information that I have found in research. So just want to put that disclaimer out there. Obviously, if you're going to take any type of herb, you want to also take into factor any other elements that you might have, or just you might want to discuss with your doctor before taking any supplements. But most of these supplements, like I said, they've come from nature and they are safe if you're not on any other medication or you don't have any type of allergy to them. They are pretty safe to take. Okay, so that's one thing that it's really good for is one, it helps boost brain function by helping with the maintenance of the brain and help developing hormones that grow and expand the brain, but then also it helps prevent neurodegenerative diseases like Alzheimer and dementia, and it can also, studies have found that it also helps treat those diseases as well. So moving on, another thing that curcumin has been good for treating is heart disease. So we already see here it works towards the health of many of the major functioning organs in the body: heart, your brain, and you also have its anti-cancer properties. But as far as heart disease goes, it helps improve the function of the endothelium. And this is the lining of blood vessels, and endothelial dysfunctions are the major driver of heart disease. And this includes the inability of endothelium to regulate the blood pressure and clotting. So again, you can take this as a preventative measure if you have high blood pressure running in the family, or something like blood clots, or if you currently suffer from either or of those things, you can start adding this supplement to your diet to help improve the lining of those blood vessels. And it also its reduction of inflammation, that anti-inflammatory property that it has, and oxidation property that it has, are also important in the reduction of heart disease. So I'm just going to take another sip of tea before it goes cold. And if you're curious what tea I'm drinking, this is just a simple black tea that I've added an essential oil to, peppermint essential oil. And if you didn't know, you can actually ingest peppermint essential oil just like you ingest peppermint leaves. And I'll go into that probably in the next Living with Herb videos and all the benefits with that as well. Okay, so now we're going to talk a bit about its cancer fighting abilities. So like I've mentioned a little bit earlier, studies have shown that curcumin and turmeric block the growth of certain tumors. Now, from the studies that I've read, they mainly mention colorectal cancer and breast cancer. And so it's good for both men and women to take, because those are one of the most common forms of cancer found in men and women. Now, one, again, I already mentioned, is antioxidant properties that help fight against free radicals, and free radicals have a known connection to cancer, and also it's helping to boost the body's antioxidants enzymes also in the fight against cancer. So it also is said to reduce the angiogenesis, the growth of new blood vessels in tumors. So, and that's why it has that ability to stop the growth of certain tumors, because it helps reduce the factor that helps these tumors grow, which is the angiogenesis. It blocks the growth of certain tumors and contributes to the death of certain cancer cells. So not only does it block the growth of the tumor, but it also targets the cancer cells on that level, on that cellular level. And there's evidence that it can also prevent cancer from developing. So again, as preventative care, if you have a family history of cancer, this is something that you can add the supplement to your diet as a preventative measure to help lessen your chances of developing cancer at a later stage in life. Okay, so one of these things, I'm going to mention it now just so that I don't forget it, is absorption. You want to keep in mind that if you're going to take turmeric, or if you're going to take curcumin, and again, they are one and the same, but one is a component of the other, then you want to keep in mind the absorption. So the human body better absorbs this root with pepper. So black pepper is an absorption enhancer when you're digesting this particular root. So now, what I have here, if I'm purchasing this in the capsule form like I have here, you see that it says featuring black pepper extract for absorption right there in that green bubble. So this already comes with the black pepper included, so you don't have to worry about making sure you ingest pepper. So this one capsule, it has 750 milligrams, and this is a proprietary blend of turmeric root, curcumin, standardized extract. So they have the turmeric in here, and then they've also extracted the curcumin from a turmeric and added that as well. And it also includes the black pepper extract. I purchased this on Amazon. This one is Doctor Recommended Supplements. That's the brand this comes from. And I think it's organic. It doesn't say here on the bottle, but I'm pretty sure when I purchased it, I was looking for organic. So I purchased this on Amazon. Oh gosh, it was such a long time ago. I don't remember, but it might be priced at something like $30. So that just goes to show you like the value of this supplement. Now, if you want to go for the less costly option, excuse me, you can just go to your local grocery store and purchase this turmeric ground. Now, I was trying to take it in this form. I will say that this, to me anyway, this is not a very pleasant tasting supplement. So it was quite a lot for me to drink this in a tea form. Like, there were times when I wouldn't even finish the tea. And I'll discuss like the tea a little bit later in the video, how you can make it. But if you want to go for the less costly option, you do have the option of just going to your grocery store and purchasing the turmeric like this and taking it as a tea. Okay. And you could probably find something like this between like $4 and $5 at your local grocery store. Okay, so moving on. We're also going to talk about, again, the brain and turmeric's effects on depression. So it can help regulate depression as well. So it's effective as an antidepressant. In depression, it's been found in studies that it's been linked to reduced levels of neurotrophic factors and shrinking of the hippocampus in the brain. So this is a part of the brain that deals with learning and memory, and curcumin boosts as we mentioned before, the BDNF levels. So this potentially reverses the changes of the neurotrophic factors and shrinking hippocampus in the brain that is found to be connected to depression. So curcumin as well also boosts the brain's neurotransmitters of serotonin and dopamine, and as we know, those are effective. Increasing those levels are typically, there are medicines that increase those levels of serotonin and dopamine to help fight depression. So ingesting turmeric or curcumin is a natural way of doing that to help you treat depression. Okay, so now we're going to talk about the vagina. So vaginitis. It's described as discharge, itching, swelling, pain, typically caused by infection. Now, turmeric, curcumin helps treat lots of different vaginal problems, yeast infections, vaginosis, HPV, just is overall good for the health of the vagina. So its anti-inflammatory properties reduce symptoms and secretion. My writing here got really, really tiny because I have some running out of so much space. So I either put on my glasses or hold up the paper. But okay, its anti-inflammatory properties reduce symptoms and helps with if you have secretions of the genitals, odors, discharge, and itching. So it helps reduce those symptoms. Studies have shown that with at least 2 weeks of treatment, that it produced an absence of the infection. So if you have a vaginitis, infection, this can help reduce or just clear up that infection. So also curcumin is a phytoestrogen, which is a plant source of estrogen. So it's used as a dietary antioxidant for the hormonal imbalances that also occur during menopause. So if you're going through menopause, this is another supplement that you can take to help balance out the hormones that cause so many problems in women who are going through menopause. So it has a significant inhibitory action against drug-resistant candida. So if you're someone who suffers from yeast infections, this is, and perhaps even someone who's already been prescribed an antibacterial or something to help treat their yeast infections, but we all know that your body or the yeast will become familiar with it and usually develop a resistance to the medicine, and then becomes harder and harder to treat. So curcumin or turmeric, it has a significant inhibitory action against drug-resistant candida. So if you're one of those people who's been suffering from that, this might be something that you would want to look into. It also, because it treats yeast, it has the antifungal and antibacterial properties. There was a study done that found that a cream made from curcumin had a high virucidal action against HIV and HPV and infection. And virucidal meaning that it deactivates or destroys viruses. So that is the nature of the curcumin and turmeric. So it can so you know that this can be taken topically, as I mentioned before, or orally. And again, you want to keep in mind the absorption enhancer being black pepper. Now, I've also read that fat is another way that helps the body absorb the turmeric or curcumin. It doesn't have to be extremely fatty milk. You can use something like milk. So that's one of the teas that are commonly made with the turmeric includes milk, and you can use like a nut-made milk, like almond milk or soy milk. It doesn't have to be from a cow. Okay, so some ways that if you, like I said, it can be applied topically. You can apply it directly to the skin or to the genitals, and it can be taken orally. Obviously, orally is probably the best way to take it, just because you're going to be absorbing it way more into the system. You can add it to your soups, to your salads, to your rice, or you can make what they call turmeric milk. And from my experience, turmeric milk typically is just boiling the turmeric and the milk on the stove, and then you can add something to it if you like honey to enhance the flavor. So that is what I have to share with you today about this super herb, as I like. I'm calling it a super herb, but super root, and you know, all of the benefits that it has. And I just love the fact that Mother Nature provides for us in such a way where almost every single ailment that we're suffering from, there's something here that was put on this earth to help us treat it. And that is the type of information that I want to bring to you guys, the viewers, and I hope to share much more information here on Living with Herbs. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and until next time, I'll see you later. Bye.